south. It's the community garden here in Utica, and my name is Susan Kimball. I was kind of called in to participate very early on because I used to be a public health nurse, and I had worked with refugee populations, and these raised beds were put here for the refugee population here in Utica. So I got involved early on, and I thought it would be a fun idea to start a program for the children. Just down the block, using the same building as the refugee center, there's the Thea Bowman Center, which is summer daycare and after-school care for children. And they happily supplied me with groups of children, kindergarten, first, second, and third graders, and they come to the garden. I wanted them to be able to start right at the beginning, mixing up the soil, planting the seeds, planting plants, watering, mulching, weeding, every bit of the process they participated in, hands-on. We brought in different herbs and things for them to smell so they could experience the garden really with all their senses as much as possible. And they have a lot of fun. The other thing, it's summer, it's not school. It's supposed to just be a fun time outside, so they would associate gardening with all this really happy time. Who remembers the parts of a plant we learned at our first class? What's the first part of the plant under the ground? Root. What goes up?
A stem.
Stem. What goes off the stem?
A bud.
Wait, what about this?
A leaf.
Leaf. And then after the leaf, what do we get?
A flower.
A bud. And what does that turn into?
A flower.
And then what does the flower turn into?
A seed.
Seed, right. So now it's the end of the summer, and we're looking for the seeds.
This gonna be a big sunflower seed.
Well,
Oh yeah,
maybe.
I can't wait.
Look at you, you have to just rip it right apart. What's your name? Tell me your name again. Isaiah, see if you can rip that apart and find the seed.
I'm Kathy Bowinkle. I'm representing the New York State Department of Health. I work for the local health department here in Utica County, and I work primarily in the lead program. We have the highest incidence of lead poisoning in New York State, unfortunately, in the city of Utica here, which means that more children are lead poisoned here than anywhere else in the state, or more likely to be lead poisoned. And so we were able to write what was called a Brownfield Opportunity Grant through the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry. And what that allowed us to do was to work on projects so we could do land reuse. And what we were looking at is, were there lots in the city that could be repurposed and used for other reasons? And this was one area that was of interest to me because it's across from the refugee center. It's right over here. This had originally been 3 houses here, and it was 3 vacant lots for many years. It's owned by the library, which is across the street, and we approached them about putting a garden in here. So the role of the state health department was actually to test the soil and to let us know whether it was going to be safe to build or whether we were going to need to use the raised bed boxes. And from there, the project just morphed. I think you spoke with Susan, our master gardener, and Susan was originally a public health nurse, and she worked with me at the health department and retired, and she agreed to work on a children's project with Thea Bowman for us. And so we started the children's garden. And then the next thing we knew, we were building 100 beds, and got the neighbors involved.
Well, my name is Xenia Williams, and I live in the Utica community, and I've lived here for about 3 years. And I'm a baker. I also bake for the library, it's a cafe, and my box is here. And I love gardening because I love the whole concept of self-sufficiency and being able to learn about where my food came from and have some type of an active participation in growing my food and eating it. And I hope to have an organization where I can help women learn how to do that, women who are poor and single.
Oh, who wants a job? Does anybody want a job?
Me.
Well, anybody, you see these bean plants? They're all finished. We have to pull these out. These ones along the edge, not those that are growing up, but just these on the edge, and on the other side.
And then we can harvest them.
We're going to put them in the compost heap. Pull it. You have to pull hard. Put it right in here in the compost.
Oh, let's go on this side. I found a bean.
Is it a good bean? One big goal of the program is that at some point in the end of the season, they get to harvest and eat on the spot the vegetables that they grow. So this year, they picked their own green beans, and they taste pretty good right off the vine, so they got to eat those raw. And last week we picked cucumbers. We peeled them on the spot, sliced them, and they got to eat cucumbers. And it was, I think, just a very successful year. I think everyone had a lot of fun and enjoyed gardening. I mean, my hope would be that they'll take this experience and someday have a chance to grow their own garden, whether it's a pot on a porch or a raised bed in a yard or a whole garden, that maybe this will lead to a resurgence of gardening among the whole population of children growing up today.
Oh my God, what?